Welcome back to the Movie a Day podcast, the one and only podcast that reviews a different film each and every day. And as always, here to break down said films, we have Sky
What up?
and Ryan.
Yo, yo.
And Ryan, you were actually our chooser for the movie today. Do you want to introduce us to your film?
So this week, or the other day, I guess, I decided to choose the movie You Were Never Really Here, which is free on Amazon Prime, or with Amazon Prime on Amazon Video. It's directed by Lynn Ramsey and stars Joaquin Phoenix. And it's basically about a quick little synopsis. It's about a traumatized war vet who's going through a depression in his life, and he's unafraid of taking action against missing girls. And that's kind of what he does. He finds people that abduct children, and especially girls, and hunts them down, kills them. So, so I'll swing it over to Grant and tell me your guys' initial thoughts.
As far as technical aspects of the film goes, it has all the bells and whistles. Sound design in particular was really good. Cinematography was also great. Joaquin Phoenix is always, I think he's the best actor working today, and it's just another walk in the park for him. It's a fantastic job. And also great original score from Johnny Greenwood. Always unique. And oddly enough for me, where the film loses me is screenplay, which oddly enough won Best Screenplay in Cannes. I don't know, it just felt really too vague and too jumbled and just really uncoordinated almost. I don't know, it's really hard to explain why I couldn't get really attached to the movie and invested in the story. There's a lot there, and whenever I look at different reviews, everyone says it's about something else. And I was trying to grasp on what the movie is about as well, and I might have something to go on. We'll talk about that more when we get to spoilers. As far as the recommendation goes, as much as I didn't particularly enjoy watching it, I would still recommend it, just based on all the technical aspects being above average at the very least. And it is a very divisive movie. A lot of people will like it, so I don't want to turn people away from it. So, bottom line, I would recommend it.
All right. Well, I second a lot of what Grant said for sure. All the technical stuff I loved. I guess I should also say I've seen this movie 4 times. It's one of my favorite movies, 2018. So, yeah, all the technical aspects, cinematography, sound design, obviously Joaquin Phoenix's acting, and I actually really liked the screenplay, which I guess we'll get into my interpretations of the movie, because the first 2 times I watched it, I had a slightly different, I guess, interpretation of the movie, and then the last 2 I kind of got more well-rounded as I watched it. But yeah, I would definitely 100% recommend it. I will admit this is a movie that if you don't get into the mindset of the character, you're gonna be bored out of your mind if you watch this. But if you do, I think you'll really enjoy it. So yeah, I would give it my my full recommendation. I really loved it. So I guess that's it for me. Ryan, what did you think? Because Grant, this is your second time, right? Yeah, and Ryan's first time. Yeah.
So yeah, my first time watching it is probably similar to yours. First time watching it, it's not well-rounded yet, but I thought it was pretty good. All the technical aspects, were pretty solid. The only complaint, I guess I would really have to say, I mean, there's a couple nitpicks I'd have with it, but one of the main ones for me that was kind of bothering me throughout it was the violence wasn't really, it was short. It seemed like every scene that there was violence, it just wasn't, there wasn't enough there. It was just kind of a one blow to the head type of deal, or one hit KO, if you will. So that kind of threw me off. Almost like they didn't really have any fighting scenes that they wanted to like choreograph or anything, or if they did, you know, it wasn't choreographed well. But yeah, that's pretty much my only complaint. I do recommend seeing it though. Like Sky said, getting into the mind of the main character, which Joaquin Phoenix, you know, is a great actor, and just kind of helps you see like into his character's image and his mindset, because, you know, a lot of PTSD, like war vets, go through a lot of this shit. This shit's real, and like it just kind of like gets you into the mind of what he's going through and like the violence that he's experiencing in his life. So yeah, definitely recommend it.
All right. So how should we start with the this
Spoiler
discussion?
shot?
'Cause I got a lot to say. Oh yeah, we
Definitely
should
bridging into
say.
spoilers at this point.
Yeah, this is gonna be
Spoiler
So,
time.
Spoilers.
Since you are the advocate of this film, seen it 4 times, do you want to just give us a rundown of like the plot of the movie, and then we can just start talking about it from there?
Yeah, sounds good. So yeah, Joe is our main character, Joaquin Phoenix. He's a traumatized veteran. I love how they don't really show you a lot. Like, you just see like brief glimpse. He's in the military for like literally like less than probably 30 seconds of screen time. You can just tell from flashbacks he's in the military, saw some horrible stuff. He's in the FBI, saw some horrible things, had a traumatic experience growing up in like an abusive household from his dad. So yeah, that's kind of like haunting him. So like, you can tell he's motivated. I guess I should also say in the FBI, when he was in there, like he, I guess, uncovered like a prostitute ring or something where they were like drugging or kidnapping. I guess it'd be, yeah, drugging and kidnapping women. And he found like a bunch of like dead corpses and stuff. So that really haunts him. And so he's trying to save as many women as he can now. That's like what his job is. Like, he lives at home with his mom still, taking care of her. So he's just trying to like save and like take care of others essentially. And yeah, so the movie just kind of follows like his job essentially, and then a job goes wrong. He's trying to find a girl that was kidnapped by, I guess this is a state senator. So a state senator's daughter gets kidnapped. He finds out where she is, goes, picks her up. Then some bad FBI shows up and takes her from him, and he doesn't know what the hell's going on. And essentially, I guess not to spoil too much, even though we are spoiling, try to keep some stuff hidden, or summed up anyway, that the governor is essentially like, he has like a ring of like little girls that I guess he is like abusing periodically, and like the state senators is his favorite. And so like he ends up trying to go and save the girl from him, and he gets there and the guy's already dead. And then yeah, the movie essentially ends shortly after that. But yeah, so I guess that's like the synopsis of it, as vague as I can be. But do you guys want me to talk about what I think all of this means, or does anyone else want to jump in? Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, you could start with kind of like from the beginning.
Okay, so
right out of the gate.
For me, this movie is literally trauma. Like, the movie, you're like in the headspace of like Joaquin Phoenix, and like the way I take it is, you can never beat trauma. Like, he keeps trying to, but he never can. Like, the reason this movie can be unsatisfying is that it gives you no like catharsis, which is what Joaquin Phoenix is trying to get. He's trying to like feel good, like, I guess just like emotional release from like all past, and like he can never get it. And so he starts taking, or like trying to save these girls to get some feeling of like, I've done something like good, right? And like he's literally trying so much to do it. And the movie puts you like in that same mindset, like doesn't show you. Is why like I like it, which again, if you're not like in that mindset, it'll be boring, because they don't show any violence. This is what's interesting. They don't show any violence unless it's like reflected off a mirror, or it's in like
In a camera.
on a camera, unless he's doing it to himself, which is
Yep.
why I think that's like a point of the movie. It's trying to like make, it's like focusing on how he like beats himself up, but not.
Except
Like,
in the
the
first
movie-
scene.
Yeah,
The first scene was
Yeah, the
shot.
alley, the
That's
alleyway.
true.
The alley.
but again, you don't really see it, right? It's like super
Yeah, it's dark,
black.
yeah, you don't even see
Yeah.
the guy really.
Yeah,
that he's beating up.
exactly. And like all the violence, I mean, there are some like he, like puts his foot on, but like it's really, it cuts away every time there's violence, right? When they shoot the guy in the head, it immediately cuts and you see the blood hit his face, Joaquin Phoenix's face.
Mhm.
You never see like him beat someone up unless there's like an extra like frame to it, or like an extra like more distance to it, so you can't like feel like, so the audience can't feel like that, like, yeah, because like the whole time I watched, honestly, I was like, oh my god, just like I want to see him just beat the hell out of these people, but like he never gets to, and like that's like at the end he shows up and finally, like I just like, he was like, you know, drowning in the lake with his mom after she died. He was just gonna give up, and he literally, he's like, he sees the girl and he's like, you know what, I can save one more, do it. And he gets there and he's like getting ready to to save her, and she already killed him. And he gets there, he just starts crying and like losing it, because he's like, I don't know what like to do. I can't like feel better about this. And then the ending is essentially like he like literally like kills himself, right? But it's really just him hitting his head on the table. Like he like fantasizes about killing himself,
Yeah.
because he just wants to like end it. And the ending is essentially the girl says like, wake up, it's a beautiful day. Like the way I take that, it's kind of like her being like, hey, try to be in the present moment. Like, you know, it's nice out. Like you're never going to beat your trauma. Don't try to. If you try to always like beat it, you're just going to like drive yourself crazy. So like you got to just enjoy the moments. You can't change the past. And like it's kind of like a big thing, I guess I take from the movie. Yeah, I mean, even along with the title, right? Like you were never. There's so many shots in this movie, which I love the shots. I don't know if you know, like, I mean, even the ending, right? When the credits are rolling, it's just two empty seats. It's like people who should be sitting in these seats are there. There's like so many times it like shows like tables with no one there, or even like he'll go out a door and you'll hear the door ring from like a gas station, and like they won't show him. It'll just be like the door opened and like he's already gone. He's not in the frame. There's so many like shots in the film where like you're like, it's shot in a way where you're like, okay, the characters in this scene, but they're not. And then like he'll be off to the left sometimes, like at a horrible angle. You know what I mean? Like when he goes at the end to show up at the mansion, like he's like off to the left. Then it'll cut like he beat up a guy, he didn't see it happen. Then it'll cut off to the right, and he's like way going up a staircase or something. So yeah, like it kind of like puts you in his headspace because he's not in the present moment, I guess. Like the editing of this movie, even the little girl is also like that. Like both Joe and the little girl, Nina, they both count, and like to me that just means like they're counting and they're focusing on that versus like living in the present moment. So, and the soundtrack plays with this as well, like where like something will be happening and then like the soundtrack will like jar you and almost take you out of the movie to the point where you're like, whoa, what the hell? Like I was like getting like, it's like pumping you up for like this big ending scene, like when he's like following the guy to like the governor's house, and you're like, oh shit, they're playing this like intense music, and then he gets there and then like nothing happens.
Yeah.
And so like I feel like the movie kind of, again, it goes into his headspace of like cutting around. He even says one time in the movie, before he even goes to save the girl for the first time, he's in like the shop to pick out a hammer, and he like was just like daydreaming about all the shit that's like messed up his life, and he like wakes up and he's like, whoa, where am I? he loses track of, can't live in like the present moment. He's just constantly like traumatized, I guess. And I think this movie's like a lot also about PTSD and just like trying to live after like a bunch of stuff has happened to you, and it's just a character who just wants to like overcome it. But if you tell yourself that you need to overcome it, I guess is like kind of like the movie's trying to say, like, unfortunately you can't. You gotta just try to live like each moment, the present day, and then yeah, try to enjoy it the best you can. I guess those are the main things, I guess I have to say. I like there's one specific shot I like too of I guess not to talk too much, but there's one specific thing I like. They show a shot like underneath like tracks, and you can like you see Joaquin Phoenix's face. And he looks like he's about to like literally fall on the tracks and like commit suicide. Like he again like looks like he's gonna commit suicide, and then he sees a girl who's got a bruise on her face, and we don't know if that's actually like a girl with the bruise on his face, or if he's just like picturing that on her, because like when he sees that one group of girls later, like he looks at her and he's the tear going down her eyes, which was like it just reminded him of the girls in the truck that were killed. So I think like every time he's about to like just like end it because he can't handle it, he's like, okay, maybe I can get some emotional release by saving another one, or like saving another one, but like he never gets to. He never can like ever satisfy that need, I guess. But yeah, so that's essentially how I take the movie. And I like, to me, the whole movie, all the technical stuff, really good job doing that with like all the crazy editing, the crazy sporadic soundtrack that like just makes you like uneasy, like almost like again takes you out of the movie. And then yeah, even I guess what the characters say and do, like I said, the counting and the just like the barely any dialogue because they're just like reliving their past instead of living in. So yeah, I will let you guys talk now because I've talked for a while.
I just wanted to make like a comment just about how like the movie is very subtle. It just kind of like you were saying, like everything that you just said was like your interpretation of it, because like the movie never really explained it like clearly. Like it left the audience to like think about what this guy's going through, and how it's like a real situation that could happen to any of the war veterans or just anybody who's experienced something traumatic like before. And I mean it's I like movies that are like that, like don't like blatantly like think like they don't think the audience is dumb. Like this movie thinks like the audience is capable of like feeling what this guy's going through, and they do it. I mean they try to be artistic about it, and it kind of works, I guess. I mean the movie's kind of got the artistic value, but like yeah, I guess, essentially that's what I wanted to say on it. It's just the movie, like, left a lot for interpretation, so.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You
like
touched on a lot of the bases already, so
yeah.
I just...
yeah, I did talk for a while. Let Grant talk.
I think it leaves a bit too much up to interpretation, which
Yeah,
is why I think
essentially,
we're seeing
yeah.
all the different reviews saying what the movie is about. Like I've seen at least 5 or 6 completely different takes on what this movie is about.
Yeah, no, yeah, that is fair. There's barely any dialogue in the movie. Like there's literally like probably 20 minutes where like no one's
Yeah.
You're just kind of following people around.
And there's one really interesting like take that you can get from this movie that makes sense for a decent amount of it, and then in other parts of the movie it doesn't. But what I think for at least a decent part of the movie, I don't know if it will hold up through the entire thing, but I think the movie is about him overcoming the trauma from his incestuous relationship with his mother. And I think nothing else in the movie is real except for he kills his mother and then he kills himself. So I don't know what you guys think about that.
So like
His
so then why,
saving
I guess,
skills is kind of like his way of coping and like his way of like understanding like that he is to save like the traumatized like kid in himself, which is why he sees his mom in the end smiling. And then at the end, when he saves the girl, like he has the girl in the diner, it plays like the happy music, like it's another day. And he smiles and leaves. And then they're both not there because they were never really there because he just saved himself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's an interesting take. I mean, it's some of
But
it's
that-
related to what I was, the whole, yeah, not fully being there. I take it more as,
But yeah,
I guess, the
I-
present moment stuff. But
again, it's a lot of stretches and leaps because it's
it is
it
interesting
doesn't really
because
give you anything concrete to latch onto. You kind of just have to like fill in a lot of the blanks yourself.
yeah, and I will admit, like, I love movies like that. Like, I'm more of a movie goer that like likes the. I mean, I do like, the straightforward movies too, but like for the most part, my favorite movies are much more like abstract, just themes essentially. Like I said, to me, I just love the theme of like trauma, PTSD. I thought like that was the main point. Like at least that's my interpretation of it, which I really enjoyed. But like even like your thing, right? Like the whole incestuous stuff, like that's kind of relates to like the whole Psycho thing, which they mention.
That's
Yeah.
a big deal. And in an interview, she said, the director, Lynn Ramsey, she said it was just a random movie, which I don't buy at all. Because
She just doesn't want to say what it's. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would just say the direct, which they shouldn't. I don't want them telling me because I think it's good. You can get different interpretations from it.
Yeah, with how meticulous everything else in the film is placed, there's no way that happened on accident.
No, I think, like I said, the way I interpret it, like that's what I think. Like if you put a gun to my head, like what this is about, like I would stick with like, I guess what, again, I've seen it 4 times now. So like when you see a movie 4 times, you're like more likely to like get more, I guess, fully formed concept.
Yeah, see, like my ideas are just kind of like, they're.
It
out
is,
there.
yeah. It's a movie
I
I
haven't
watched
really collected
twice within
everything.
like 48 hours. I saw
Yeah.
it twice because I literally was like so confused after I watched it the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the. I guess I didn't mention this. I like the connection because like I had the same response as you actually, Ryan, when I finished of like the lack of violence.
Yeah.
Right? Like I wanted him to I wanted to see it because like again, it gives like the audience that release and like that emotional like revenge, like catharsis. But like you don't get it because he doesn't get it.
Yeah.
And so like when you're watching it, it's like very frustrating. But I think point of the film, it's kind of like it only shows you the aftermath of violence. It never shows you like what like he actually does. So I don't know. I think that's like a cool, unique thing. I've never seen that in any other, I guess, done. So that's why the more I watch it, the more I like it. But I will admit, the first time I watched it, I was definitely almost like, what the hell? Like it looked amazing. It sounded like. Then like I watched it again, and I was like, okay, I think this is pretty sweet. Then, yeah. One thing too, I noticed, this is just like a random thing. I only noticed this time when he's reading the book, he's ripping pages out, but he's reading it backwards. He's going from he's like moving the pages the wrong way. Like I think that's just to show that he like so out of it. He has no concept of like where he is. Like, is he back? Is he, he's like going backwards almost. He's not living in like the present. The whole scene, there's like a scene with like the green jelly bean. I don't really know what that whole thing's about. He's like my favorite jelly bean, or the green jelly bean.
Yeah, the green jelly bean.
And then he crushes it, and so I'm like, he might have eaten it too. I don't know, but like, I don't know fully what that was, but they like made a point of putting. I paid attention, I guess, to the dialogue a lot more this time, just because again I've seen it, so I was curious.
I mean, the only thing I really got out of that scene is the jelly bean jar was pretty full, and all the green ones are gone. And the guy mentions how no one else comes in to talk to him personally.
Yeah, I guess you could just say he takes he's been doing this for a while, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I got that, but like, I guess I don't know why they said. I guess they said his favorite, so that it fits in with. I guess yeah, it might just be that. But yeah, I think that's about everything I wanted to. Oh, one other. This is the point where like I laughed, like especially this time watching it, when the assassins are in his house and he goes down there, shoots both of them again. You don't see it. Then you just see them on the floor and one's crawling. And he asks him, he's like, "Did you kill my mom or the other one?" And I don't think you get a direct answer.
No.
But instead, you're like expecting, him to torture this guy. Like when I first watched it, I'm like, oh, he's gonna beat the hell out of this guy, torture him, find out where the girl is, like get some revenge. And instead, the movie's like, nope, they're gonna hold hands and sing
Yeah.
as the guy passes away. He gives the guy like a painkiller, and then like literally that guy reaches for like Joe's hand, and they're just singing. And the song, even because we watched it with subtitles, or at least I did. The song was something to the effect of like, "I'm not here," something like that. Again, a lot of the songs in this relate to like even the theme of the movie. But, I guess the way I interpret it. But
So were those people in the house the entire time when he showed up and found his mother dead?
yeah, I
Because
believe
I-
so. He came
'Cause if
in.
they-
He came in
I
through the
didn't-
window.
That's almost another thing that would almost help my case, because like he doesn't see or hear these people at all until he sees the mother dead, which I think kind of goes for like the fact that he killed his mom, and then in order to cope with it, he has to like create like these two people that did it, and he has to like kill them just to like cope with it. I don't know.
It's possible. It's just, again, I don't know, to me, the movie made a point showing dad beat the hell out of the mom. Like you saw her bloodied on the floor, and she told him to run away.
Yeah,
And then you see,
they
know,
did share a couple looks though in those flashbacks.
yeah, they look, but it was, I guess
Yeah,
the
you
way
got
I
more
interpreted
flashbacks
I mean,
it
it
was,
was
there
it
went
didn't
on.
scream incest, but like
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like to me, it was just like the mom was like in peril, and she was like, "You need to hide," and then like the dad would come up and beat him with a hammer, and like again, that's why he uses the hammer too. So like, yeah, I mean, I definitely like again with the whole psycho stuff because a decent amount of this movie. So like, I could totally see like some aspects of that, but like, I guess to me, it doesn't, like you were saying, kind of like doesn't like work all the way through. The reason I think that his mom shows up at the end, like briefly in that room, because it shows his mom and then it shows him in the chair, like suffocating himself. And to me, that's I guess he's just fully like losing his like grasp on like reality. And like even when he goes to the little girl at the end, she's like eating at the table with like the bloody knife that she used to kill the governor.
Yeah.
He like goes up to her and he like touches her. Like you can tell he's just like, are you physically there? And then she's like, it's okay. Like, and like, so again, that's why like I think he was more kind of like, he couldn't save his mom back then, couldn't save her now. Like I don't know, he just couldn't like ever get emotional like satisfaction or like that, yeah, catharsis. And then at the very end, the little girl kind of gives it to him by saying like, hey, you and me can go do something. Let's just try to live one day at a time, type of like, that's how I guess I interpret the end of the message, or the message at the end of the movie. And yeah, so kind of just do your best each and every day, because that's all you can do. Which again, I think relates to the PTSD stuff. Like, unfortunately, there is no cure to that. You have to live with it, but you can manage it if you set like some reasonable expectations, kind of. I guess that's how I kind of saw it all playing out. But I think that's about it for me. Because I mentioned all my favorite
really have
scenes.
anything else to add?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, should we give our final ratings before we get the next recommendation?
Yeah, it's a 5 out of 10 for me. Solid effort, but never really something I got invested in.
Yeah, no, I can perfectly understand that. It is super vague, so like I can understand that argument too. For me, I would I mean, this is either my first or second highest movie of of 2018. So like, I have it at a 10, but probably easy to figure that since I talked about it for probably 20 minutes. But what about you, Ryan?
Right now, I have it at a 7. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, it was solid. I mean, there's, I see like why people are hit or miss with it, but I understand
Yeah,
like your viewpoints.
sure.
I understand Grant's viewpoints, and I understand like other people's viewpoints. For giving it the rating they gave it, but for me, it's just a 7. It's an average rating, I guess.
All right.
I've only seen it once, so if I see it a second time, my rating will probably change.
Yeah, I would say
I just
to
threw a
people who
7. I
watched
usually
it-
like throw like a 6 or a 7 on a movie that I'm not really sure, or sometimes a 5 or yeah.
No, I know what you mean. If it's like a movie you see and you're like, it almost like
Yeah, I'd have to
you
revisit
need to
it.
watch it again to get a more well-rounded view of it for sure. So like, this is a movie I would recommend giving a second chance if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Like twice. If you like were like unsure about it the first time, I'd definitely one more time.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it then maybe it's just not for you. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll probably give it another. I might even buy it at some point just because I like Joaquin Phoenix that much.
Oh yeah.
Gotta support Joaquin Phoenix.
Yep.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree with what Grant said. Definitely one of the best, if not the best, like working
Today,
actor
yeah.
today.
Yipper. So
All
So
right,
should
Grant, give us what's our next movie?
So the movie we'll be watching next, I think we got to go back a little bit because all the movies we've been recommending so far have been like 2017, 2018. We're going to go back to 1985, directed by Terry Gilliam, Brazil.
Ooh.
oh, okay.
Okay. It's on my list. I haven't seen it.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on my list too, I think.
I'm very excited for this one.
And I think that one's on what, Hulu?
That one is for free within Amazon.
Amazon. Okay. I knew it wasn't Netflix.
Back to back Amazon. Okay.
So Brazil. All
So you
right.
told you we'd get Amazon.
Yeah.
Prime subs.
So yeah, if you guys like the podcast, give us a like on Facebook and a follow on Twitter. Other services pending.
Yeah. We mentioned
But,
Apple before, but
Yeah, we're
we haven't
figuring stuff out.
established. Yeah.
Yeah, we're allocating budget.
Yeah.
But yeah. See you guys tomorrow.
Yeah. Sounds good. Have a good one.
Yep. See ya.